A suspected chemical attacker who left a young mother and her 3-year-old daughter with life-changing injuries has been named by police as officers launch a frantic manhunt to track him down. 35-year-old Abdul Shakur Azidi, who was last seen in North London and is believed to have travelled from Newcastle. The alkaline attack, which was captured on CCTV, appears to show a woman and child holding their faces in front of a vehicle before a man enters the car and strikes the woman with it. He then gets out and opens the back door before removing a child by violently throwing them to the ground. One eyewitness who came to their aid says she heard the mother screaming, "I can't see, I can't see." Speaking at a press conference earlier, Superintendent Gabriel Cameron insists that the Met will find Azidi.
If you see him, I plead to not approach him. He's a 90, call 999. He has significant injuries to the right side of his face. We take violence against women and girls very seriously, and this was someone who, it's a vulnerable position she was in, and it would have been horrific and frightening. So we will do our utmost, and we will, I'm totally confident, capture the male.
A total of 12 people were hurt during the attack, including 5 police officers and neighbours who came to the aid of the mother and her children. The local Labour MP, Bel Ribeiro Adi, praised the actions of the local community.
People in the local area were hugely shocked to hear what happened. Many of them actually came out as the attack was ongoing to assist the woman and her children, which I thought was amazingly brave of them. Some even came into contact with the substance themselves. Pleased to hear that they're all okay, as are the police that came into contact with the substance.
Well, after a sort of initial decline, it seems that instances of these attacks are on the increase again, especially on women, which is obviously a really worrying development. I mean, widening this out, I don't know, how do we get a grip on this? Can we somehow control more tightly the sales of these really, really corrosive substances? The problem with that is, you know, household cleaners, household bleach, that kind of stuff costs less than £1 in supermarkets. You can still get this stuff on the dark web, the really corrosive, I think they call it alkaline attacks, these substances. You can get it in sort of more unscrupulous wholesalers. So how do you actually control this so that it doesn't come into the wrong hands, like we're trying to do with zombie knives, for example? Coincidentally, Katie Piper, who obviously had that horrific attack on her and has been very vocal, very, visually very, very badly wounded by those attacks in 2008. She's been talking to a government minister about this just on Monday before this attack. So it's
I think if it's
becoming a problem again.
But if it's like knives, isn't it? If somebody wants to get their hand on something,
Exactly.
they will find a way of doing it. And something like this, we don't know the details, but it sounds or looks like a targeted attack. It doesn't seem to be completely random, and I would imagine it's not going to be that long before. I mean, we saw the CCTV footage of the man there that they're looking for. He's also injured himself. The police, I think, pointed that out in the press conference. I would imagine it's only a matter of hours or a few days before they find the man.
Yeah, I think if they said he's from Newcastle, if he goes back to Newcastle, that community up there are not going to be harbouring this guy. They'll be out in the streets looking for him. And I think that's the best chance the police have of catching him now, is if he actually returns to Newcastle, because, as I say, Geordies are not going to take kindly to having someone like this walking around.
Well, there are plenty of places to hide. Just get off the train
I know, but he's not, he's going to have to interact with someone pretty soon. And clearly, from what we can see in that footage, he is in a very bad way. So I don't know about the broader lessons from this. I'm always a bit nervous with these cases that just the mere publicity of it might encourage others.
I think that's a really good point, the copycats.
If it got no publicity, it's our duty, of course, to report it. But if it got no publicity, less people will know this is even an option.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really, really valid point. Clearly, whilst he's on the run, there is a manhunt. That's a big story. The police need our help, the public's help in trying to find him. He's going to, as we've said already, shown the pictures, he's going to be very, very noticeable because he's very injured. Now, presumably, those injuries are going to incapacitate him. I mean, as you said, Ian, I'm sure that there will be some sort of horrible domestic explanation of what's gone on. It seems quite obvious that he knew his victims. And I was happy to hear the police say we take violence against women and children very seriously. I'd like to see some evidence, more evidence of that.
Yeah, absolutely.